I kind of want to get in now to a little bit of like the modern day of your fighting career, of like getting into fighting for a title belt. You get to fight, you get it on short notice.
Yep.
What's your mindset when you take a short notice fight and you look down and like, actually, this is going to be for a belt? How is that like mindset going into a short term? Like, of course I'm going to take this. I'm ready. I've been doing this my whole life. Or is it like, I wish maybe I had a little bit more, because knowing now what the outcome was, hell of a fight, went the distance. But maybe what was your like mindset going into that title fight? Like,
well, my thoughts in that one will always be bittersweet, because it was the most money I ever made in my life. And about 6 or 7 weeks before, me and the UFC can't come to terms, right? So I want more money off my pay-per-views. I want not guaranteed money, but if I sell this amount of pay-per-views, I want more money off that.
Right.
I'm not trying to get money from the company. I'm trying to get from what I sell.
Right.
Understand me? And they're like, can't do it. And then they find, which is a fight game, they find somebody to do it cheaper. And that somebody was Gilbert Burns.
right.
So now the fight gets set. I'm heartbroken. I'm devastated. I'm also like, it doesn't matter, because there's no fighting. Then I end up fighting. But the whole thing is starting to hit like I just passed up a title shot. I'm going through like a mini depression, you know, and all through Corona now is happening.
Yeah.
This is like crazy.
Was that Abu Dhabi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gilbert gets Corona 6 days before. So I've already stopped training for some time now. Mm-hmm. But I'm always doing something, you know, like I was helping Dustin for that fight, get ready for Dan Hooker. So I was going to the gym like once or twice a week, you know. I wasn't like in shape, like staying in shape, on weight, nothing.
Yeah.
And so I get the call, and at first I'm like, yeah, I could do this, but you're gonna have to pay me a lot.
Always get the bag right first.
Add some zeros on
weight. You know, let me check my weight. And I checked my weight, did all of this and that. And I told him, I go, yeah, we'll do this, you know. So we spent, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours doing the negotiations. As I always will say, I had them by a good point. You know, they had 6 days to their main event. Mm-hmm. Not only could I step in and fill those shoes, because it was at my weight, but it was the only fight that made sense, the fight the whole world wanted to see. It was the most selling pay-per-view of that year. And the year before that, I had it as well against Nate Diaz. We broke the record in 2019, and then I broke the record in 2020. So it was like, man, let's go, you know, let's go fucking sell these pay-per-views, but you got to pay me, and they paid me. So I always am bittersweet, because I got the most money ever, and I had so much leverage, but it wasn't the best version of me that went out there. And am I content that I got more money, or that I would have, you know, basically gotten ripped off because the original deal was so shit? But had the belt, had the title, you know, would that have meant more to me? I don't know, because I don't have the belt.
I got a question, because you fought for the belt again against the same guy in your next fight. Was Dana White or UFC like, let's obviously give him another shot, not just 6 or 7 days for it again, right?
The next time they gave me the shot was 4 weeks.
4 weeks later?
Yeah. No.
Just 4 weeks when they told you. Okay.
Yeah, and it was again bit of politics, literally, and a couple of things. We were gonna coach the Ultimate Fighter, me and Usman, and we were gonna fight. We were gonna coach throughout September, then be fighting November. I went and got a medical procedure done in California for my knees, not in California, in Colombia. And the UFC called me up, and they're like, "Hey, we have an opening, so and so and so and so. We're gonna fight." But we were thinking you should fight for the belt against Kamaru down in Jacksonville in the first show open to the public.
Damn.
And at first I was like, fuck that. And I hung up the phone and said, fuck you. And the next day I woke up and I was like a lot better considerably than when I went to sleep, how my knees were feeling. And I was like, man, last time I almost beat him in 6 days. Of course I could beat him in 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
And so I took the fight, you know, but each time Usman had the same amount of time to prepare for me as I did for him. Mm-hmm. So I always say it is what it is. It's a fight game, you know. There's no excuses, you know. And that one fucking he got me good. The first fight he won on stomps to the feet and shit, but it wasn't a fight, bro. I always feel like you didn't do shit. That fight was a loss for you and me, because the fans were utterly not entertained. In the second fight, he did great. He did what he had to do. He closed the show, you know.
Gotcha. And then when you have like a setback like that, you know, how do you? We know you're super close with your faith. Like, how do you keep your faith so close to you after a couple setbacks like that?
It hurts, bro. Yeah. It hurts, you know.
Because obviously we saw Dustin, you know, after fighting, he's like, I'm going to just cry up here, you know, but he's got a rock, you know, his wife to lean on. It sounds like you got your faith and obviously your family as well.
Yeah, I more than anything lean on my God, on Jesus all the time. Since a young boy, I discovered God, and I've never not had God in my life, you know, and I've always just relied on God, no matter how fucking stormy it gets. I don't care. My faith is unmovable. I've never prayed to like another God or anything. I've always prayed to Jesus, and things have worked out for me. So that's my rock.
Yeah.
My kids obviously as well, but my go-to is my God Almighty.